Hello everyone, my name's Ethan. This is my channel Gringo Campesino. So it's about to rain, so I'm trying to get the video done before that. But a couple weeks ago I found some scions, some branches for grafting, some cacao. I had planted last year about 200 or so seeds of cacao. It's been kind of a struggle to find seeds and some people in this area with cacao. So it's been an uphill battle. I finally found a neighbor that was willing to let me take some cuttings from his trees. So I was able to graft about 150, 200 trees. The remainder of the trees I think I'm going to plant without grafting because they were just not big enough. The idea for the grafting is to accelerate their maturity, so it doesn't really matter about the variety. I think I kind of have a mixed variety, but that's fine. Cacao, the price is pretty standardized. The idea, however, is that I'm trying to diversify on the farm. If the climate does indeed get warmer, I want to have a crop that will do a little bit better in a warmer climate, as well as just general diversification with the fluctuations in the market. So I have a couple short videos, one to show you where I got the scions from, the branches. Beautiful farm, really big vistas. And then I'm going to show you how to graft using this little tool that I got. And then I'm going to show you that I'm not really all that happy with it. So I'll continue through the video and show you how I did everything. Hey puppy dog. Hey buddy. He doesn't speak English. You can see behind me I have a load of branches. So the idea is I will take these branches and graft them onto my little guys, and it will increase my production time by about 2 or 3 years, because I have mature genetics in this branch and I will be grafting it onto young genetics. So the roots will grow fast with the young genetics, and this will start producing faster because it has mature genetics. If you can see, it actually has the flowers there. Those are the initial flowers off of the stem where the cacao pod will grow eventually. So the idea is to match a size branch with the small ones, with the seedlings, and hopefully they'll stick. I've done this before. When I lived in Africa, I had some trainings. I taught some people how to do this, and we brought in some experts. So I have done this before, but I bought a cool little tool to help me out and try to make it a little better and easier. So hopefully I'll get 90% success rate. That'll be pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So right now I have to go through and I have to cut up all the leaves. The leaves being on the shoots will make it so they dry out faster. So what I need to do is I need to cut off the leaves before I can graft them. So I have, I don't know, probably 300 branches I need to de-leaf. Hello everyone. So I'm over here today looking to graft my trees. So grafting is something I have done before, but it's been many years. In the past, I have used a grafting knife. This one actually I've had. Thanks Matt. I got this probably 15 years ago when I was in Peace Corps in Malawi. So Matt One of my fellow volunteers gave this to me. But anyway, we grafted some trees and we're helping people learn how to do it in Malawi. And I've held on to this for the years. But anyway, this is quite difficult to do. The process is very easy, but success rate is difficult because you have to match the size of the scion, which is the branch, to the rootstock almost exactly. You have to wrap it up, and even then, like an expert, if I understand, will only get like 98% success rate. So that would mean that of my 200 trees or so, even if I was perfect, I would still have a few mortalities or a few grafts that don't take. So I went out and I got something that was a little bit more idiot-proof. And I don't know if this is going to work very well. I guess I'll give you my review on this, but I got this kind of, I don't know, made in China. It looks like it's pretty good quality. The plastic is strong, seems like. But anyway, it does it automatically. There's a notched blade that will cut off an exact match between the scion and the rootstock. So the idea is I need to find scions that are the same size as the rootstock that I have. The rootstock is not quite as big as I'd like it to, but they're kind of outgrowing their bags. So I want to get them into the ground. I'm expecting I'll graft about 200 of them, and maybe 50 I'm going to put in the ground because they're just not ready to be grafted. I'm not grafting any kind of special cacao onto here. I'm using basically the same tree as a scion and the rootstock. So the main point of grafting is to gain a few years of production, because the scions are coming from productive trees, mature trees already. The genetics in those trees are already producing, whereas my rootstock, they will take probably 3-4 more years before grafting or before producing. So by doing this, once they start growing, I will probably start getting flowers within this first year on these trees, even when they're only maybe a meter tall. So hopefully it'll give me some production early on. It'll make this whole endeavor worth it. If not, if these grafts don't hold, I'm very hopeful that the roots are strong enough to send some new shoots, and I'll get the rootstock genetics again. And if that happens, I could graft in the future, but I probably will put them in the field, and I might go into the field and do a field graft in the future. I have a few trees that are just kind of too small to handle the graft, so I'll probably leave those to the side. But anyway, let me kind of show you what I'm doing here, and then I'll explain later on after these grafts take. I'll explain a few months from now when I'm planting them where they're going to go and the idea for the farm. Okay, so here we have my rootstock here, and here's the scion. So I'm looking for a place on the scion that has some good buds in it. So this apical bud, which just means the pointed bud, the bud at the tip of the plant, I want that to take first. So I don't want to go too far down. I want to make sure there's some good buds along the way. So I'm going to look for a space more or less where my fingers are. That's about the size of a small pencil maybe. And I'm going to look on the rootstock for a place that will match that size. And I'm going to cut on both sides and then wrap it up. Okay, I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how I did this grafting. This is the tool. It's probably made in China. I just saw it online. It's pretty cool. You can see how it closes there. And this notch here is pushed against this rubber area here. And the idea is that it will cut a perfectly symmetrical, even notch that makes it a bunch easier than using the grafting knife. So anyway, I have some of these old branches that I didn't use previously. So it's easier to show it on this rather than with camera angles on the actual trees. So basically it just fits in. The notch just fits in right there. You want to center it. Sorry, my camera doesn't want to focus all that great, but you center it in there. It just cuts. What you can see is this symmetrical notch here. And then I put that down for a moment and I cut in the same stretch, the same size of another branch. Or in this case, I would be mimicking the rootstock and the scion. And I have to do that again because I have backwards. So you can see now I have this part and I have this part. And so the idea is they will attach together. Sometimes, yeah, so I have almost a perfect match. And then there is something called grafting tape, which is, my dog's got on it. So this tape is quite flexible. And so it's again hard to show, but the tape, as you can imagine, you just wrap this tape around the graft. So as it's connected, I would wrap the tape around here to seal it off from infection, but also to keep it moist inside, and hopefully so the sugars keep on flowing through the stem. Anyway, that's a quick description. I would say this is quite cool. It was about, I don't know, $20 or something like that. So it wasn't excessively expensive. I don't think this was the problem. I think the fact that I got some scions with not a ton of active buds on it, even though this should be the right time of year to be pruning and grafting here in Colombia in the mountains. I don't think I got really good scions, and because of the size of matching the scion to the rootstock, I had to put some really long stems on there. So I think if it fails, it probably will not be because of this. This has made it really, really quite easy, and much better than I could do with the grafting knife myself. So these are the grafted rootstock, and I'm not too happy. As you can see, they're quite tall, and that's not ideal because it's a lot of room for the sugars to be pushed through the plant, and on top of that, finding good scions was difficult. So I had to go and kind of beg my neighbors, and they were able to give me plenty of branches. However, they were doing it during their yearly trimming. So I have some success, I think. It still remains to be seen. It'll probably be another month before I know how many are going to take. But you can see some of the buds. It's hard to focus on a single one, but some of the buds are taking. So I'm hoping that I'll get some success. I think the roots are strong enough, so even if I don't get success in the graft, I'm not going to lose these trees. I think they will sprout again. Like I said, it's not ideal, but I had to work with what I had. So we'll see in a couple months which ones take and which ones don't.